More upsetting news.
Well, it is. A sergeant in Afghanistan has been discharged for attacking and shoving to the ground a Afghanistan police officer who was keeping a 12-year-old boy chained to his bed as a sex slave, and also beat the boy's mother when he came to complain about it. And
that's a shame.
It brings up this whole debate because, when you're put into the army, I'm sure during training, you're taught, you're going to another country, there are certain customs, and you can't get in the way of people living their life. But when does, your sense of right and wrong, when does your sense of morality overstep your training to be a soldier?
Right.
And, the U.S.'s I guess the Army's rationalization for discharging him is we can't have people acting up and beating up every child rapist because because that makes our country look hostile. Well, guess what? If we are the country we say we are and we're fighting for rights for other people, that should include children. And you know what? If you got to upset a few people for it, I don't know. I just don't think it's right. And it's actually it's not super common in Afghanistan, but it is common. There's a term for it. It's called bacha-bazi. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing it the right way. I really don't know. But it's, it's this practice of men fooling around with young boys and sexually abusing them. And I don't think it's right. And I feel like the Army, discharging him was kind of their nice way of saying, okay, you kind of did the right thing, but we have to show that we punished you a little bit to make it seem
we have to save face.
Yeah, we have to save face a little bit. So it's a really sticky situation. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, that's really sad. Because even let's say if it was in Korea or if it was in Europe or something like that, even if it wasn't in Afghanistan, chaining a 12-year-old boy to your bed and abusing them sexually, verbally maybe, physically, is wrong, fundamentally wrong. Putting someone else in danger is fundamentally wrong. You know what I mean? Just because it's a custom there, just because it's a tradition, doesn't make it valid, doesn't make it good, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it moral. So, I mean, I commend him for what he did. It kind of, blows that he had to get discharged because he was fighting for our country.
But don't feel too bad for him because apparently he's lined up a job on Wall Street now.
That's great.
That's pretty good, but also a little sus.
I mean, how I feel about it is that I feel the same way. An eye for an eye, and I don't even think it was equal. But, it was a beating, a little spanking that he got.
He just shoved him to the ground. He had a couple of bruises. He didn't assault him. No one's bones were broken.
You know how much violence goes on and rape and all this other horrible things that goes on, and he gets discharged for that. But that was his. At least they got him a job set up on Wall Street. That's nice.
I mean, he probably went to school for something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he was a Green Beret, highly decorated, highly respected soldier, and
he did what he could.
And apparently, I guess what provoked him was that the officer didn't think it was a big deal and kind of laughed it off.
That's disgusting. And you're basically, by discharging him, you're honestly saying that it's okay.
Yeah. What happened? Putting out this message that we're okay with this because we're not fighting. We don't care about children. We only care about the war.
It also can propagate this idea of not in my backyard. We're not doing it in America, so it doesn't have to do with me. That's them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're still fighting for our country, but we're also fighting for our ideals. I know that we shouldn't push Western ideology onto other people, but that's I just feel like that's fundamentally negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's fundamentally negative. That's not, you can't spin that in a way that's positive for that young boy. You know
Ironically, though, over in the Middle East, especially in Afghanistan, it's pretty homophobic. They're not so accepting, but you mistreat women and then you sexually abuse boys. You guys are living hypocrites.
Yeah.
Almost. It's weird.
Yeah, it's where are your principles?
Yeah, where are your principles?
It reminds me of something that happened recently as well. This blind kid was getting beat up by some bully at school.
Oh, I saw that video.
And another kid came by and knocked him out cold, the bully, and he got suspended from school. But
the kid was blind.
Yeah, but now there's kind of some justice because the bully is getting in trouble for it.
Good.
Because
why would you aside from just fighting with people is just wrong, but why would you beat up a blind kid?
What do you have to gain
people are
from
sick.
that?
People are bullies.
You tell your friend, I totally beat up this blind kid.
Insecurities. are very
Strong.
could go a long way.
You know what? I did read up though that kid, it was a misconception that he was suspended. I think that was put out at first, but
Yeah.
he wasn't suspended. There was all these rumors that the guy who stepped in and punched the guy beating up the blind kid was kicked out the football team and suspended, wasn't suspended, left the football team last semester. So I mean,
Okay,
justice
good.
is
Thanks. I'm
served.
glad you said that, so you don't
Yeah.
get any comments.
Oh, comments, yeah.
We'll talk about those later.
We will reach that topic later in the show.
On lighter note,